This is week 7, Midjourney image generation. The first task of this week's assignment was to set up Midjourney. I had used the Discord experience in the past and found it difficult to use, so I opted to do the assignment on the Midjourney online platform instead. I loved it, it was much easier. The next task was to define the artist and concept. Inspired by Bruno Mars, I aimed for a fictitious artist that blended music genres and had an upbeat, catchy, modern, retro, and energetic style. I selected varied moods and themes. I plan to use the genre and style to ensure continuity between the album covers and the moods and themes to allow them to have their individual character. I gave the outline of the artist to Claude and got this pretty decent description. I used a description to generate a profile image and name for the fictional artist. I plan to use the profile image to keep the artist's appearance across the covers consistent, and I felt that the name could be informative to the GPTs. I actually used the name in combination with the description to ideate album titles, which could further inform Midjourney. Now it was time to actually create the albums. Before diving in, I looked at album cover prompt examples and I tested each feature so I could understand how to tune generations toward my vision. So using this set of images as a test, I found that the stylization feature made images grittier, weirdness made them more metaphorical, and variety changed the style entirely. And if I changed all three options at once, it looks like I get a whole new approach, which is actually pretty cool. I also tried the image training feature, and this feature I found was either a hit or a miss. It could either give you exactly what you wanted or be way too literal to the original image. In addition to studying prompt examples and testing out features in order to produce album covers, I also had to go through a lot of prompt iterations. I would say the most difficult part, which led to these iterations, was creating meaningful variations. For example, you might find a direction you like, but the variations within that direction were either too much or too little. Like the entire style and subject would change, or on the little end, a person might end up being moved up a few pixels and get their hand cropped off out of the cover. So using the techniques above, I created the first album cover, Midnight Paradise. Midnight Paradise was supposed to be happy and fun and be about partying. And given the title, there should be some nightlife feel to it. Two of the images, however, did not reflect the party theme. One looked more like it was for surfing, and the other looked like it was some surrealist journey into the bad part of town. Of the two that did reflect the theme, I went with the third one down for visual cohesion. It was more minimalistic and abstract, but still photorealistic enough, and that allowed it to make it easier to maintain consistency. Up next was Soul Glow Up. This album was supposed to be romantic and sweet and about love and self-worth. Actually, all the images did touch on these elements, but Danny's Ray's music was supposed to be upbeat and energetic, so I eliminated the ones where the people were wearing more formal clothes, and I eliminated the last one, which looked darker and bittersweet. For visual cohesion, I eliminated the one on the bottom left because the text seemed oddly separated and a bit too 1930s Capra-esque for me. Finally, looking at recurring themes, I was able to eliminate the third one on the top row and the second one on the bottom row. And it turned out like that third one on the bottom row matched Midnight Paradise the best because it was more minimalistic and fun. Finally, we get to Polaroid Summer. Polaroid Summer was supposed to be nostalgic and reflective and about simpler times. All generated covers achieved that. 3 of the covers did not have visual cohesion in that you'll see oddly shaped body parts extending out from impossible places. Also, the first two images looked too much like illustrations and didn't match other covers. While the other covers had a degree of abstraction, they definitely maintained a level of photorealism. So I was left with the third image down, which was a pretty good choice. However, I did want to see if I could improve it with the subtle variation feature. And as you can see, the subtle variation feature is truly subtle. You could barely tell the difference. I went with the second image of this set because the people looked happier, and Danny Ray is all about happiness when it gets down to it. So, with that, I present to you the three album covers. Midnight Paradise, for when you just want to have a night of fun. Soul Glow Up, when to remember how valuable you are to your loved ones. And Polaroid Summer, to relish those good times. Thank you all for watching. I look forward to seeing what you come up with.